gentlemen.
Good evening, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the lovely welcome. Good evening to all in the room, and good evening to those watching from afar. So hello Wellington, hello Edinburgh. Okay, our news this week, the 3rd of July, we've got some lovely exciting club news. We've got some results roundup for you. We have Parkrun, of course, and then what's coming up, with a bonus ball winner from last weekend to finish us off. So starting with the club news, we had the British Champs over the weekend, and we had 37 athletes taking part and came away with 4 British champions. I will go into more details in the results later. We had 11 additional athletes named for the English Schools Championships coming up. So that takes our total number of club athletes to 35 for English Schools, which is great. We had a club record this weekend at British Champs with it was a 3-1 for Daniel Goriola, and there's a little bit of news for the London Marathon ballot. So those of you will know, if you've been in the ballot for London Marathon next year, the rejection emails have come out, and so if you want to be in the club's ballot for a place next year, you must hold on to that rejection email, and we'll use that as part of the process for next year. So, in a bit more detail with our club news, our British champ. Well, I'll start with the English Schools additional call-ups. So, we have now we had an additional 8 track runners and 3 in the field. On track, we've got Elliot Ferguson in the 110 hurdles, Naima Mossy named for 1500 metres, Shian Nikita in 100 metres. In the boys, senior boys 200 metres, we've got both Oliver Driscoll and Jack Nduba. And then in the 100 hurdles, we've got Jodie Self, 400 hurdles, Sienna Kidd, and junior girls 300 metres, Cara Bryan. In the field, we've had a call-up for Abraham Sharif in long jump, George Henderson in hammer, and Madeline Dodd in pole vault. So that takes our total number to 35. We've got 19 on the track, 16 in the field, so a great representation from the club going up to English Schools in just over a week's time. Now then, big news of the week was the British Champs. So we had 37 athletes entered up in Manchester. We had 27 on the track and 10 in the field. As I said, we've got 4 British champions as part of the club now, which is fantastic. 6 medals, 4 golds, 1 silver and 1 bronze. We had 7 athletes making out of heats into semi-finals or finals, and 1 club record with Daniel. So in a bit more detail, on the track, for the men, Angus Harrington, in the men's 800 metres, found himself in the hot heat. He was lined up against Josh Kerr, Ben Pattison and Max Bergen. And so while they didn't actually make the final, he had essentially run in the final. The only athlete really of significance missing was Elliot Giles. So I think Alex finished on time from the heat, 6th fastest overall, but just the nature of the qualifying process meant that he didn't get a call up for the final. But what a run, what a heat to be running in with those big names. And then the highlight run on the men's side was Daniel Goriola in the men's 110 metre hurdles. Daniel set a PB of 13:55 in winning the race, which was a club record for under 20, under 23 and senior men, and of course becoming British champion. So quite the run there. Yeah. On the women's side, we had 4 ladies entered in the 100 metres, and we had Jennifer Aduwu, Saskia King and Darcy Kuipers all PBing in their respective heats and making semi-finals, so that was a good run out from them. It was a season's best for Annie Davies in the 100 metre hurdles with 13:73, and then moving up to the 400 metre hurdles, Zoe Ostrich had the pleasure of lining up against Jessie Knight, who went on to qualify, finishing 2nd and taking place at the Olympics. Alexandra Hill ran a season's best in the heat, and Sophie Ellis finished 2nd in her heat and made the final, where she finished 8th. In the women's 200 metres, we had Dina running, of course, with KJT lining up alongside, so that was really an interesting moment. It was a solid win, of course, in the final for Dina, a great time, looking really strong, and that's Dina, champion at women's 200 metres, so a great result for Dina. In the field, it was more fantastic results, especially for the ladies. Becca Walton kicked off the whole competition in style by winning the women's javelin in 54:11, and like Dina, she had KJT alongside her, so I'm sure that was quite interesting. Shannara Hibbert set a season's best of 12.69 in triple jump to come 6th. And then we had 3 ladies in the top 8 of shot put. We had Cleo Agipong, who's one of our under 20 athletes, finished 8th in 14.57. Nana Gedu was 7th in 15.82. And then Divine Oladupu took 3rd in a season's best of 17.24. Now she was just 8 centimetres behind second and 35 centimetres off the win. But it wasn't a problem for Divine. She went on to win the women's discus in 54.78, and then Zara Obakimwa came 2nd in 53.23, so a great 1 and 2 in women's discus. And I think there would be a great representation from the club across the whole weekend. The coverage on the TV was fantastic, and we had regularly the club vest was being mentioned, and even Tim Hutchings was speaking very favourably of the club, and even mentioned our new clubhouse. So I think we need to get him a little invite and have him down for a tour or something. So yeah, but that was a great weekend for the club, and we came over very well there. So that is our news, our English schools and our British champs. So going on to our results roundup from the weekend. We had our Masters League. It was 4th round of the Masters League at Sutcliffe Park on Friday, and we had a really strong turnout in both men's and ladies. A big well done to team managers Maz Turner looking after the ladies and Steve Howe looking after the boys. And we had a couple of new members having their first outing for the club at Masters, which was great to see. So the kind of roundup, the women's team finished third on the night, just a couple of points behind Medway and Maidstone, and that leaves us 2nd overall in the league, just 2 points clear of Cambridge Harriers, so nice and tight there. Our sprinters got us off to a flying start with season's best from Sam Williams and a PB for Daniela Sage in the women's 35 200 metres. We had strong runs in the 1500 metres from Trang Nguyen, making her track debut for the club. It was a solid 2nd from me, hobbling around with my dodgy ankle, and a return to the track for Jane Bradshaw, who's back from France just now, so that was lovely to have Jane out with us. We had super strong walks from both Aurelia Osborne and Jackie Montgomery, taking a 2nd A string and a 4th for Jackie. I have to mention, I think the last time Aurelia walked was that same event last year, and Jackie had been having a training session with Sean in the week, which he'd given her a little bit more work than she had anticipated, so it was actually quite sore from her walking training. So anyway, great results there. In the field, we managed to cover most of the events, and we had a great win from Jackie Montgomery in the pole vault, who also did shot for us. And we had 2nds and 3rds from me in the W50s, in shot and javelin. So I must give thanks to Herbie, who'd given me a bit of a masterclass in how to show shot and javelin. And it was the same for Sam and Daniela covering the W35 shot and javelin. So a really good turnout from the ladies on Friday. It was equally good for the men. They also finished 3rd on the night with just 3 points behind Dartford, and that leaves them sitting 3rd overall. Same as the women, just a couple of points clear of Cambridge Harriers, so they've improved on since last time. It was a super fast night for James Burton, who scorched to a PB, winning the B string in the M35 200, and it was a 3rd place for Ian Furla in the M50s. The middle distance team had a strong night. Leon De Bruin and Darren Cornet both ran exactly the same time, 4:39.4. Well, that's according to the results anyway, so I don't think they actually dead heated on the night, but we'll see. We had Steve Howe leading the non-scoring 1500 along with Ben Hackey, who that was his first run on the track for the club. And then we had in the M60s, I had a really strong run from Steve Pearman, and we had Ken Daniel doing a guest appearance in the W60s 1500 as well. We're on Ken. Very modest. The run of the night, though, has to go to Luca Arkalani in the men's 50s, 1500 metres. He led most of the race until probably the bell, and then was sitting in 2nd with just 100 metres to go. So then we had a kind of a 3-way sprint for the line, which Luca won on a dip. So it was a cracking finish, really good night. And I think, so Luca has managed to win 3 out of 4 of the middle distance events in the M50, so he's on really good form. But it was super close, 4:44.5 for Luca, and then both 2nd and 3rd finished with 4:44.6, so really tight. In the field, we had strong contributions from Roger Platt, with double fourths in both shot and javelin. Clem also took a fourth in the high jump, and then a second from Steve Langdon in javelin. It was double fifths for Tim Ayers in javelin and shot, but we didn't realise he was saving himself for his star event later that night, the 2K walk. And so while Luca had the run of the night, it was definitely Tim Ayers who had the event of the evening with the 2 kilometre walk in the men's race. Matt Ellerton won the M50s with by quite a margin, and then emerging new talent Tim Ayers took second, M35. So a really good set of results from the walks from the boys. So that was the Masters League. The only other event on the weekend was on Sunday, the upper age groups YDL. The only result I've had was the overall team result. I believe the results have now come out, but they were literally only come out possibly a few hours ago. So I just have the team result, which I'll share with you. The team won overall on the day with 690 points, ahead of Harrow and Dacorum on second, and Windsor, Slough and Eton. So we take maximum points into the finals. So we've won our league, our division. So go into finals as division champions. So that was I'm sure there are much better results to share with you. I'll do that next week when we get them through. So that was our results roundup. Park run. I'm just thinking I've misplaced my sheet. Give me a second. Park run. Yes. Okay. So park run stats and podiums. So we had 55 members running in park run on Saturday, and in 25 different locations. Now the furthest from the clubhouse, I do hope he's a signed up member because I don't recognise his name, but Amir Doudai, possibly, was at Sonsbeek in the Netherlands, 328 miles away. Not ringing any bells. So I have our second place one was a Mark Watling at Ruthin Memorial Playing Field, which was 253 miles away. So again, I'm not familiar with either of those chaps, but that was whoever was furthest from the clubhouse. So our podiums and special mentions. At Bromley, we had Kevin Finney, who was first male. At Billericay, Ryan Afford-Smith was 6th overall and first male junior. At Hoblingwell, Chris Martin was 4th male. At Orpington, Isla Pearson was 2nd female in a PB. At Brentwood, Thomas Sugden was 2nd male and his mum Katie was 4th female. At Lullingston, Steve Howe, 1st male. And at Sutcliffe Park, we had Evie De Bruyne taking 1st female overall. Evie's just an under 15. We had, and her dad, Leon, 4th male. So a good turnout for the De Bruynes. I think that's it. So coming up, it's very short tonight, I'm really uneasy. Coming up, on Saturday it's the next round of the academy competitions down here. And then on Sunday it's round 2 of the National League at Woodford Green. So there's been a really strong drive by team managers to get a stronger team out, just a fuller team out than we had last time round. We did have quite a few gaps last round, so hopefully we'll have a few more slots filled. I'm hoping that a lot of our competitors from the British Champs will find their way to National League, which would be fantastic. And then of course the following weekend is English schools, so that's a big weekend the following one. We've got a bonus ball winner from last week, and the winner is he still here?
No, he's done.
Has he gone?
Yes.
Or will I save it for next week then? Will I just save
If he
it?
doesn't come, we'll keep it.
Okay. I'll save it for next week then. Okay. Any other news? Has anybody got anything to share? Oh, Steve? Oh, there's a few tonight. We'll start with Steve.
Yeah, sorry. I was just on the results. I don't know if I'll get all this right, but there was a number of athletes ran at North,
Oh gosh, North Downs, I completely
Yes.
forgot. I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
including these
Oh.
two gentlemen who did really well.
Thank goodness you're here, Steve.
But David Adams was 3rd overall in 1:59.36. Andrea won the females
Yeah.
in 2 hours and 54 seconds. And Luca, I think, was 2nd in his category. Is that right?
Okay, yeah.
M50. Luca again,
Yeah.
after his performance on Friday with
After his sprint finish.
2:38. And Steve Hull was 3rd in male 50s as well, 2:06.28. I hope I've got everyone. Trying did very well in 4th.
4th female, yeah.
So I hope I've covered everything. But
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for that. I missed that completely. Yeah. There's Tony. You had your hand up.
Some of you might remember Brian O'Flynn. He hasn't been down to the club for quite a while because he's been quite ill. But he's actually in a care home up at Coloma. And I was speaking to his wife Sheila this afternoon, and if anybody's got a spare half an hour, he would love to see a few of his old club mates. So that's up at Coloma. I haven't been there myself yet, but Coloma Court.
Yeah, that's at Liam's Road.
Yeah, that's at Liam's Road, and he was a member for 39 years. She told me, so it'd be very nice if anybody's got some spare time to be able to go up there and see him. Thank you.
Lovely, thanks, Tony. And Richard?
Yeah, if you've got 2 or 3 hours tomorrow afternoon, you've got to be truly inspired. The Bromley Primary School's individual races are here between 12 and 3. And I know that the 600 metres is absolutely stacked. There are at least 10 boys in the boys' race who can run sub 156 for 600 metres, which is pretty good. And there's a number of girls who run really quickly as well. The fastest girl I saw last week ran 151, which last year would have pretty much won the boys' race. So if you want to be inspired, the sprints, 600 metres, throws, jumps, truly inspiring, but it's free entertainment between 12 and 3 tomorrow afternoon. And Ken may well be here for even more entertainment.
Thank you, Richard. Super.
Madam
Okay.
President, one
yeah.
more thing.
Okay.
We have a birthday girl amongst us.
Oh.
Angela's birthday tomorrow. Are we able to sing happy birthday?
Of course you are, yes, if you lead the way.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angela. Happy birthday to you.
Great. Well, have a lovely day tomorrow, Angela. Thank you. Okay. Great. I think we will see. Okay. Thank you.